Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple. Thomas Tuchel took charge in his first Chelsea match where he had had enough time to implement some of his tactics when Chelsea hosted Burnley. 3 points would have been crucial to ensure that the top 4 remains in view, and in the end, the game finished 2-0 to Chelsea thanks to goals by Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso. The XG indicated it was a deserved win, 1.44 to 0.39. The XG time app shows that there was only ever one team in the game, with Burnley's one shot coming in the 93rd minute. But what tactics did both managers use? Let's take a look. A quick shout out to my Patreons for helping to make this video possible. If you want to support, head on over to patreon.com/footballmadesimple and you'll get rewards like early access to videos and exclusive content. And here's how Tuchel lined up using a 3-4-2-1 as seen on the OneFootball app. OneFootball is the best football app for football fans, giving you match updates, personalized news, and so much more. The best part is it's absolutely free through the link in the description below, and it's a great way to support the channel for free. Thank you once again to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. Let's focus on what Tuchel's men looked to do in possession, as they dominated with almost 72%. From deep, Chelsea looked to start short from Mendy. On the rare occasions where Burnley pressed high with their front two, Azpilicueta moved into the right back slot, allowing Silva and Rudiger to split wide to give Mendy options as they created a 3 vs 2 against the Burnley front line to then play out. However, Burnley generally did not press high, with a passes per defensive action of over 17. And Chelsea were willing to exploit the wide regions when building up in deep areas. McNeil could be drawn higher up onto Azpilicueta during the build-up, and this would be the trigger for Hudson Odoi to drop deeper to support to collect the ball. If Peters stayed high on Hudson Odoi, it left a gap in behind, and Mount from this inside forward position could then drift wide to get on the ball and look to play out. When Peters instead remained deeper, then Hudson Odoi could freely receive and then look to play infield, with Mount then looking to provide the option. On the left, things could be slightly different at times. Whereas Mount was happy moving wide to support the wide men, Werner tended to tuck in further into his preferred centre forward position, at times operating in a makeshift front two with Abraham. So when Rudiger received the ball, he was more likely to dribble higher up the pitch to become the second man out wide, with Marcos Alonso pushing even higher up. And here we come to a crucial element of Chelsea's tactics, led by Mason Mount. In this shape, Mount would look to push high up into the right half space as the Burnley central midfielders were often drawn to Chelsea's own. This would usually mean that Peters from left back would be forced to tuck in, leaving Hudson Odoi free on the touchline, and Rudiger could look for him with a direct switch, where he could then look for the cross, which was often dangerous. At times, this switch first went through the Chelsea midfield, and Kovacic in particular, as if Burnley's pivots were deeper trying to cover Mount, he would then have the space to switch out to Hudson Odoi. In fact, Rudiger and Kovacic attempted several long balls between them, usually out to Hudson Odoi. But if the midfield looked to close Kovacic down, this again left Mount free in the half space, and once he was found, he and Hudson Odoi would advance simultaneously, and Mount would play in Hudson Odoi, who would have room for the shot or the cross. We see elements of this in Chelsea's first. Chelsea have the overload deep on the left hand side, and Cork comes across to cover Jorginho instead of covering Mount. So Mount is found in the right half space completely free as McNeil is high. Mount, as he did so often throughout the 90, then finds Hudson Odoi for the 1 vs 1, the only difference being this time Azpilicueta is overlapping from deep, so Hudson Odoi finds him well for a good finish. Chelsea also had success constantly when building through the centre of the pitch due to numerical advantages. Mount and Werner would often initially drop between the lines to create a 4 versus 2 against the Burnley central midfield. This was allowed as Hudson, Odoi and Alonso pushed high and wide early, so Burnley's fullbacks couldn't follow infield. This is evident in their average positions. So, if Burnley's midfield stayed deeper, Chelsea would then be able to dominate the ball, which Jorginho and Kovacic did, ending with the most touches for them. But if they pushed high, Mount in particular could get on the ball on the half turn to look to play in a man higher up, again, often Hudson Odoi. This was made more pronounced in the second half as Pulisic played like a forward initially, with Mount in the hole, constantly drifting and looking for space to receive it. And higher up, their general attacking shape looked like this, a front 5 with the fullbacks providing the width. And Burnley would sit in an extremely deep 4-4-2, and Chelsea had to be patient, passing the ball around the edge of the box. In fact, they had 24 deep completions, which are the number of passes completed within 20 yards of the opponent's goal. But once again, Mount and Hudson Odoi were the keys, down the right, as Burnley struggled to deal with them. Mount in this half space would often draw Peters narrow, creating space for Hudson Odoi to receive, and he got several good crosses in and was unlucky to only have 1 assist. And in fact, this pairing had the joint second most key passes for the Blues. Overall, this match was filled with positive signs for the Blues, creating chances at will and never coming under any threat defensively. Mason Mount in particular stood out tactically, causing never-ending headaches for Burnley between the lines. If you want a more detailed look at what other tactics Tuchel could look to bring, check out this video, which is linked at the end of this one. But what else did you notice? Drop it down in the comments below, and hit subscribe so you can see our post-match breakdown after Spurs and Chelsea midweek. And a big thanks to Matthew for helping to support Football Made Simple on Patreon. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.